Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us here on Speed Gaming on Twitch TV for another Link to the Past Randomizer Tournament group stage match here. We're in Group X. We've got g3rd0 versus Doc Marty 0. I'm Epibliticus, joined by Apathy Duck. How you doing? You have any initial thoughts on the race today?
I'm doing good. Yeah, it should be a good one. g3rd0's one of the stronger runners in this tournament. He's got a 124 in NMG, which is really good. He's got the third best overall time of people in this tournament. He plays a lot of glitch categories, world record in RBO, so he's real strong, knows all the strats. And then Dark Marty on the other side, real good runner as well. Concentrates more on rando than like the regular NMG run, so we'll see how this plays out. I think Marty maybe looking to gamble a little bit against g3rd0 because g3rd0's got the reputation, so maybe trying to squeeze out some time, have some either more efficient routing or sort of less checks. So looking forward to that.
Yeah, I tend to agree with that for sure. When you're facing an opponent like g3rd0, you mentioned just definitely up there in terms of execution. If you don't think you have the edge going in, you're gonna have to try to find one. But yeah, kind of unusual seeing g3rd0 go 0-2 to open his group stage, dropping down to this losers bracket against Doc Marty, who went 1-2. g3rd0 had played Marknificent and Doc had played Voosh. g3rd0 gonna be looking for his first win, and according to him, his first boots.
Yeah,
these group stages. So hoping he can get at least one of those things.
That's one. A lot of the advantage from like playing NMG and knowing this game is like you have boots the entire game. So a lot of the strats and everything that we have memorized all require boots. So one of the equalizers could be having either a very late or bootsless seed. It's a lot harder to gain time on an opponent without the boots. Overall they only save like 2-3 minutes over the course of the run, but for someone who's really experienced with them, they can really put up some extra time on that as well. So yeah, I hope g3rd0 gets the boots, just for his sake, because playing 3 in a row without him is really bad. But
yeah,
might be a little more exciting if we don't see him. Might be a little bit of a closer race. So we'll see when those pop up. Boots and sword are something you definitely look for early, no matter what.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And it looks like we're off. The double house start. $50. If nothing else, that'll get him some bombs in the village.
Yeah, it's potentially you can take those $50 and buy bombs right away. It's one of the places that people will look to divert their early routes if they get $50 right away in the hut. But it looks like they're both going up. Gonna get some tree pulls here. Marty didn't pick the sign up, so I don't know. He's not gonna be able to get a pull here unless somehow he got a kill. He's just skipping the tree pulls. It's interesting.
Yeah, and I guess that'll do well for him as it's just hearts off of that first level.
Yeah, also missing opportunity to potentially farm the first guard too. You're really looking for bombs when you're starting out here.
Absolutely. And we do have just a sort of good old-fashioned open seed for you. It's going to be 7 crystals, Ganon's tower, 7 crystals to make Ganon vulnerable. You have to complete the tower to get to Ganon, so just that good old-fashioned thing is we get the power glove off the uncle.
Yeah, glove's another one of those early items that could change your early routing. You may want to dip right into the back of escape right away, as opposed to like me. I personally always just go straight to Kakariko. But if I had those gloves, I might make the small divergence into. But they don't have bombs, so
yeah. Without the bombs, it's going to be a problem. But if they were to say get them off of the hoarder coming up, get a map check. Looked like a red pendant Hera and 2 crystals for the other. Think.
That was I do not know how g3rd0 reads it that fast. I have no idea. Hopefully our tracker's on that.
And there goes the tree pull for Marty, as he also gets a big magic off the Buzz Blob.
Yeah, one of the changes in V31, which is pretty interesting, is the prize packs aren't completely random like they used to be. It's actually the standard vanilla prize packs, but they're shuffled between like the different groups. So it's less just I don't have no idea when I'm gonna get off these guys, and you like one of the big ones you're looking for is the bomb prize pack. So you can if you know all the prize packs, you can determine what you're going to get a little bit better. So killing some of these guys early, it's kind of like before, where, figuring out what the stun prize is. You may get some useful information that'll help you throughout the seed.
Yeah, it's definitely a nice new addition to the meta, being able to be a little more sure of your hopes for those bombs, especially not for totally relevant for this format, but going through escape. I know the old trick was just, all right, farm enemies, and now you can know way quicker. Speaking of bombs, g3rd0 pulling them off the tree there.
That is a nice bomb right there. It looks like Marty is not really going for any tree pull strats at all. He's really going to miss out on those 8 bombs.
Shame, because he's going to have to walk down to the shop, and as Shady Force points out, what I was just about to say, the 50-50 rock there by the fortune teller.
Yeah, I mean, this is tends to be what I do for my standard opening, and I'm really looking for either money or bombs off the first couple of tree pulls or drops.
Yeah.
Because you need money or bombs to really clear out Kakariko. So foregoing all of it makes it this somewhat of a riskier play. I mean, there's still times you just pull blanks and then you got to do what you got to do. But if he's going to do that strat, I kind of think I'd prefer to see him head south into Kakariko and try to get the 50-50s on the way in.
Right. Yeah, if nothing else, get him off the ledge, get through the race game and all that. Just do it that way. But does pull a refill out of the chicken hut, as g3rd0 has found the book and the flippers early here out of Blind's Hut. Yeah, Doc gonna kind of spread the route way out and get even into the well first. As now there's bombs galore. Didn't have to shop or pull for anything. You would have had plenty to go right all the way through, but of course you don't want to take that risk.
And especially without the bomb upgrades anymore after V30, just getting extra bombs is completely useless. He'll at least, it's not too bad. He'll at least be at 10 leaving here. With no weapon, you're looking to make sure you have enough bombs to do most likely mini Moldrum Cave, which at minimum requires 4 if you get a double kill. But you, even if you're good, it's not guaranteed that you can get it. They can just take it away from you.
Oh yeah, and I mean, there's a couple of positions that the mini Moldorms can be in that look like they blow up, and somehow just miraculously through the explosion they go. So you don't want to have to gamble on that if you don't need to.
I've had it before where it's like, oh, that's a double kill, and they both split at the last like millisecond, and I get neither one. I'm like, no.
Right.
We also have a bottle on Kakariko. A lot of people try to sometimes delay Kakariko, hoping to find either a bottle or a flute before coming here to avoid a retrip, having to come back later. So this takes one of those situations off the table where there's a bottle being here. Not mattering this seed or this race because they're both doing the same route, so it's not an advantage either one of them can get.
Yeah, that half magic is going to be a welcome sight for both of them. But since it is so early, it will end up for both of them.
Yeah, half magic's never necessary, but it takes like one thing off your mind that you have to worry about. So it's always nice to have. If it's not too far out of the way, it's usually worth it to grab. In this case, it was just in a chest, so you never turn it down. But
absolutely. Yeah, the mirror in the library. And Bo at the race game.
So I'll be interested to see how early both of these runners decide to go to Eastern with it being a crystal. I tend to, if I get a bow early, I tend to just beeline it, just deal with the dark rooms. But it's a little dangerous, a little scary. The back of the Eastern dark room is actually one of the harder ones with having to kill the mimic.
Yeah, the Yagor can be a little bit stubborn, especially if you get sort of misplaced.
Yeah, especially without any other guide.
Yeah, no sword, no boom, no anything. Just having to kind of go in, walk to the right a touch, and spam arrows, most likely. Yeah, so starting up top here, he's got the bombs, he's got the glove. He will make that play into the back of escape now. We got 3 more items here. We'll see what we pull.
Yeah,
if we get that fire rod, it'll be good enough to put that room we were just talking about in logic.
Yeah, we'll put it in logic with just the fire rod. The big key, however, is not in logic with just the fire rod.
Right, no torches on the way through that circuit.
Yeah, that's not that bad of a dark room to do, even without a guide. but it's still possible that like Armos is out of logic even without a Fire Rod.
Right, if the big key ends up in its vanilla location, then
It looks like
the whole
Marty
map will be
is
out.
deciding to head straight. Well, he's at least going to Sasha. Let's see if he continues on to Eastern. I would suspect with the bow, if he's coming over here, he's going to go ahead and do both.
I think so.
I think I may have preferred him to see him go back of escape first. That's a dead end check. You can't really couple it in with anything. You just save and quit, do it, and come out.
Right.
You know, without a sword, he could have gotten a nice treat there. It's not, but you know he doesn't know that.
Yeah, and it's one of those things that essentially it not making that play can pretty much only ever hurt you. It might seem because, like you said, it's that dead end check, and it's just so quick.
Yeah,
So
it's 3
you're
items.
just gonna go down there and maybe get your other glove or your moon pearl or something in any other seed. So it's like, yeah, you don't want to forget about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's you can't even like couple it in with like dark roll and mirroring because you fall down and then you're stuck down there. So
right, yeah, your mirror takes you back to your fall spot.
It's so quick from a save and quit. It's just like as soon as I get gloves, I'm like, okay, I'm going back to escape. Just the only situations where sometimes I don't, which would be true in this seed if they cleared the front, is if it's only one item there. Then you can be like, well, it's maybe not worth it. It's a little slow just for one item. But especially
That's
blind
true.
like here, it's pretty valuable.
Yeah. Alright, so an early big key here in Eastern, as Doc has made the trip over. Now we're seeing the bow put to work here in the mini Moldorm cave, but the random movements proving about as troubling as with the bombs.
Yeah, there's really nothing you can ever get to make Moldorms easy to deal with. I don't care if you have Gold Sword, just those things, they're bad.
Yeah, they'll find a way to dodge it somehow. But just some arrow refills and some health here.
Yeah, big blank on mini Moldorm cave right here. It's interesting, we've gotten through a lot of our checks now with g3rd0 doing these, and we're still missing a lot of pieces of the puzzle to Dark World. Potential, like something like a... well, I missed what was on the top of...
It was the hammer on the lake island.
Oh, you never want to see that there.
Yeah, at least we know where the mirror is, and that's going to bode well for g3rd0. He will get his first boots of the groups here, because he needs the boots to get the mirror to get that hammer, and you can never get away with not having that hammer.
Yeah, you can get away with not having the mirror if Swamp is a pendant, but the filling in the rest of that chain, he knows it has to be somewhere, so I'm sure he's happy about that.
Yeah, for sure.
Doesn't mean they'll be early, but they'll be there.
Right. And short the money for Zora, but does go up to see the full heart on the ledge there. And now, you know, as they say, he's isolating that check. We'll see what Marty does to get up there later, and if it has anything.
Yeah, he may be thinking because it's you can combo that in with catfish those checks. He may be thinking because he sees the whole chain, you know, the mirror to the hammer. You know, boots can't be that deep, so he knows he'll be able to get it and should be able to do it back then. The only thing that's really going to hurt him if that's like Moon Pearl or something.
Right.
I feel like it's a pretty decent risk to make to just go ahead and, you know, I don't have the money. Zora people can kind of overthink a little bit.
The boots there out of the big key chest coming technically out of sequence for Marty, so it means that the lamp is somewhere available before this.
Yeah, that will require the lamp. The fire rod won't get you over there logically. But that is interesting. So with the lamp, that could be and where the hammer is, I'm thinking it's fairly decent chance we're gonna see an agate here.
Yeah. Yeah, we otherwise need the glove and the moon pearl still about somewhere. We have the book, we can get in the desert. Yeah, actually, with what we know, desert will be clearable for that green pendant too. Because that lamp has to be somewhere.
Yeah, and we already, Mario already has cape. I missed where that was. I assume it's in Eastern. Or maybe it was Sasha.
I believe it was the big chest.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
So just a sword away from Aga. No Moon Pearl though. You really don't want to do. You'll never do Aga without Moon Pearl. until it's literally your last location, because that pretty much means that Moon Pearl has to be on Pyramid.
Yeah, pretty much.
Once you have Moon Pearl, it becomes a little bit more attractive to do it.
Yeah, that's one of those calls that you were talking earlier about Marty maybe wanting to do something a bit risky. He might leave one or two other checks on the table to run through the Aga climb. That way he gets it out of the way.
Yeah.
And that could give him time over Gerdo. If it all ends up shaking out that way. But we got the Armos fight underway. He's unleashing the arrows, taking a couple of hits, and gets the last item, a piece of heart, off the Armos, and his first crystal at just under 13 minutes into this one.
It's also going to be the case that Pod's pretty much going to be in logic the second we get to Dark World, because we already have the flippers. Well, we know where the boots are. We can get the mirror. So that hammer is not going to be too deep. Pretty much just looking for like the Moon Pearl and sword now to be able to get it. I'll be interested to see here if Marty uses the fact that he got the boots with the lamp out of logic, and may consider in his mind that, okay, if I'm skipping the lamp, that means Death Mountain is in logic too, and maybe try to go up there after getting the mirror to do Hera.
It's true. It's true. And that's one of his more difficult skills too, reading the logic that way, trying to figure out, if I got this item here, where won't the lamp be? And so, for example, we know it won't be here in the Bonk Rocks, but he does find $20.
Yeah, lamp is one of those items that's completely skippable, so you generally don't worry too much about it until you're at the point where it's like, okay, I need a fire source.
Right.
And especially like doing, if he's thinking doing Aga Tower without any fire source, that's really difficult with those pits there.
Yeah, very easy to get lost, end up just hemorrhaging all your hearts out.
Marty's also not containing a Dark Cross. Again, he doesn't really have a good guide or a way to kill the Key Rat, so that makes sense. A little unfortunate, because again, if he's thinking he technically has the lamp in his head, that would also be in logic.
It's true. But like you said, arrows for killing the Key Rat, you're not going to be able to find it.
Yeah.
He's only got 4 to boot.
If you had the lamp, I'd be fine going there with the bow, but no lamp, you're just... you only have 4 arrows right now. That's no good.
Yeah, we're seeing Gerdo now make that trip through the Dark Circle here in Eastern. Gonna go score those boots as Doc has picked up his mirror.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see if he goes to Desert here. It's not completable, but he knows that lamp's got to be somewhere, and
right. It could be in there. It could be on the ledge.
Yeah, in which case the seed wanted you to go over to Desert, come back, get your boots, then go back to Desert, which would be pretty mean.
Yeah.
We also haven't seen Agina yet, so that could be it. But yeah.
I'm gonna put the mirror to work here to warp that block out of existence. Tiny little time save over Gerdo making these checks.
It's not. It's that mirror race is significant there because you don't have to reload the dungeon to get both of them. So it's a sizable chunk. It's like 5 or 6 seconds.
Yeah.
You can also do it with the hook shot. You can hook shot to the block, and then you'll be like inside the block. You can pick up the chest and come back around.
Yeah, a lot of neat stuff you can do with those push blocks in this game.
Yeah, Gerdo showing off why this room can be difficult. The other difficulty about this room is that pot at the top left of the room that you got to pick up. You actually can't pick it up if you're flush with the wall. You got to like come off it a little bit, and doing that in the dark can be pretty tough.
Yeah,
fortunately, he's got to bail out to get a fairy.
Yeah, one of those things where the hitboxes don't quite line up with the 4s, as it were.
Yeah, and you've still got Popos and the other. You're really only going to kill the one mimic in here, so you got to deal with the other one. And he can just kind of get all up in your business. It's no fun.
Right. If he ends up pulling away, Gerdo's thinking about getting that 5 arrow, but is not able to get it.
He gets it with the
There it
last
is.
shot.
Oh man,
Ooh.
yeah, that was a bold play. And
Yeah, when you hear the
Marty over
sound
there
of that,
outrunning his arrow.
you hear the
But,
sound of the pocket picking up. You're like, oh, got him! Thank God, it's over.
Yeah, you're out, and there's plenty of arrows to grab here that are gonna help him.
Yeah.
Clean up what would be an otherwise impossible Armos fight.
Yeah, it would be him. He's got a. There's plenty of arrows on the readies. I do want to call everyone's attention to when Gerdo does this double readies room. Doing the popos just with the bow is a pretty neat strat. Oh, and unfortunately, Gerdo kind of flubs a little bit. You can kind of just get up in there and shoot all of them before they move. It's pretty sweet when you can pull it off.
Absolutely.
Shoutouts to the Armos RTA tech. But he's gonna go near 29. He'll be fine. He only needs 18. This is something Gerdo's done thousands of times.
Yeah,
Probably
this
sick of
is
it, honestly.
the NMG fight, basically. And he nails the quick kill, puts one extra in the wall just for safety. While Doc Marty is water walking his way around, taking advantage of those boots.
Yeah, Mari also does not have enough money for Zora. This seed's been really thin on cash early. So Zora could have that lamp, which would be the missing piece of our puzzle.
We got Titan's mitts off the hobo under the bridge now.
Oh man,
Yeah,
I didn't
so
realize
now we
Gerdo
got-
didn't check that.
Yeah, now we got just a pearl away from avoiding the Aghanim climb we were talking about earlier. But
Man, Hobo has been hoarding those Titans myths lately. The Christos versus Jay Copper seed yesterday had Titans myths there.
interesting. You know, people calling pearl locations now. Let's see. Where is Gerdo off to now? Oh, right, to get his mirror. Folks talking about pearl and checkerboard. You gotta get that flute first. Let's see. Now after the Zora ledge check, where is Marty off to? We got that mountain play, which is looking juicy. He starts from Sanctuary. Could be the thing. Somebody did mention King's Tomb earlier. We'll see if that's what Marty's thinking of.
Yeah, I think
Looks like
I
it
would.
is.
Well, we still don't have a weapon to do Hera, so yeah, no, I think this. Yeah, the King's Tomb is probably a smart play right here.
Yeah.
We're probably less concerned about the lamp now because we have the gloves for Dark World access, and we know that'll immediately get us hammer. So we need Pearl for Dark World access either way, which means we don't really need the lamp for Aga, really. So if I was Marty or Gerdo here, you know, I wouldn't be really so much concerned about the lamp right now, because the only thing you really would need it for right now is Aga. And some of the other fire checks are kind of tucked away to a little bit later in the game, besides Hera, which is a pendant. So,
Right. Yeah, so I think we're basically at the point where if Moon Pearl is on the pyramid, then it's Aghanim. Other than that,
Moon Pearl or Flute, but yes.
Flute. That's true. That's true.
Or something silly like Hookshot, and it's, you know, Dark Death Mountain, like, you know, something like that. Gerdo trying to do a bow dash there. That's an A for effort. I'll give him that one.
Yeah, I mean, first boots of the groups. We'll say he's out of practice. Let him de-rust. And there's that flute we talked about. Out of Agina's cave, while we got Kane out of Escape. What a strange sequence of items.
Yeah. I missed where Flute was. I was looking at Gerdo's sweet bow dashing.
Yeah, that was in Agina's cave.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So whoever called checkerboard, maybe onto something here.
Yeah, it's now a thing, as it were.
And it could be that those boots are actually a lot deeper in logic than we think they are, because that flute would get you Death Mountain access. You don't even need the lamp for that now.
It's true. There's a good number of checks we may be able to make depending on what's up the mountain too. Because right now, logically, we don't have a ton of access since lamp was to boots was to mirror.
Yeah, and you.
But if we've got a hook shot, say on the old man, or not the old man, but in Spec Rock, then we could be in business.
Yeah, they might also be more inclined to make the Hera play because it is a pendant that you're less concerned about having to kill Moldorm, which is the only thing you really need a weapon in there for. We should be able to get through the beetles with that bow.
Yeah. Oh, big map check here. It looked like Pendant Mire and 5-6 were Pod and Turtle Rock, I think. Our tracker OSS Geek likely to get us filled in there. But yeah, Doc going straight to checkerboard. It's probably gonna, or no, maybe to desert first. If nothing else, to get away from the.
Doing desert first is a little, because you could have done this already. I would think you'd want to beeline checkerboard because you're really thinking that's your pearl, especially because this is a pendant. But could be something in here. It's not completable right now, of course, because without that lamp.
Yeah. All right, item on the torch, just $20. g3rd0 now playing towards the desert.
Be interested to see if he does Agena first or he goes straight into the desert. And he is going to go Agena first.
Interesting. Both of our runners making that call.
Yeah, a lot of times you combo Agena in afterwards because doing desert, you can either pop out the right door or if you did kill Lammo, you could pop out the back and he's right there. But because it's a pendant and he can't complete it, he may be thinking, well, let me at least just cross this off. Curious to see if he actually goes in. He's walking out. Oh, I think this is one of those save and quit things. Before you would just save and quit out of here. I think this was short enough though that the extra time on the menu makes walking out faster.
Interesting.
Oh, but he's going to desert anyway, and then of course the flute's not activated, so walking out wouldn't make any sense at all.
Yeah, if he was thinking, oh, I'm just gonna get over here anyway, thinking logically about the seed, wondering about that lamp and all.
Oh, right, and he still doesn't have the mitts. I was thinking maybe what he might be thinking.
Oh, that's true, no mitts, yeah.
I was thinking if he did want to make the desert play, what he might as well do is just go activate the flute and they can come mirror here. But he doesn't know about the mitts. He probably thinks they're buried. He may still be thinking this is an Aga seed, which it's not completely off the table, although it's somewhat unlikely at the moment. And there's that hook shot. So we're
baby.
Keep leading us by the nose to find this moon pearl.
Yeah, that is this is turning into something else.
We can't technically have a moon pearl go mode because of that hammer, but we can have a moon pearl no mode. But they know where everything is.
Right.
But that would have to be one hell of a load at Death Mountain.
Yeah, absolutely. Like we're talking pretty much Paradox Cave just filled, like all seven.
Just to the brim.
Everything. Yeah. Hookshot, not in logic. Boots were in the big key chest.
That is true.
Eastern.
It is.
So Lamp led to Boots to mirror to checkerboard.
Lamp is looking pretty good for Zora right now. I don't really know where it could be.
We're kind of running out of spots.
Or it could be one of those really confusing things like Lamp or Zora is Moon Pearl, and Lamp is just on the moon. And these boots are way, way early.
Yeah, and Pyroman's pointing out Spec Rock could contain the lamp. It's true. It can be inside, but not on top. But still, just what a crazy, crazy little sequence we got brewing here.
Yeah, I think if it's not in here,
it's
a sword. So I think that means Zora has to have something.
I think?
Either Lamp or or Moon Pearl is the only other thing that opens up stuff for us right now. So Marty, I think he's cleared everything, so he may be aware of that. I don't think we have any knowledge from g3rd0 that Marty is missing. He's probably hoping it's Lamp and he's going to find Fire Rod somewhere and he can just ignore it, or possibly just conveniently grab it when he's able to do Catfish.
Yeah, I think that might be going through his head for sure. The one thing Gerdo has that Marty doesn't is Kane from Escape, but that doesn't factor into our Dark World access too much, if at all.
Marty's trying to set up a bomb jump here. This is most bomb jumps you can set up by just being 1 pixel off the wall. That one's really weird. You got to be on like a very specific pixel, and like you're kind of like it kind of like clips you into the wall a bit, which gives you this like weird boost, which will let you make it. So that bomb jump is always kind of tricky to pull off. There's not really any great setups for it besides just walk onto the pixel.
Right. Yeah, and as you mentioned, kind of need the assist from the environment itself. Yeah, our runner's converging now here on the mountain as Marty's going to check the tablet for just cash. Of course, lacking a second sword, won't be able to retrieve it. Hera, even though it is out of logic.
Yes, that's true, because of the mirror is locked by boots, which is locked by lamp.
Yeah. I don't know why it swallowed the fly.
Yeah, I'll be interesting. So Guro is going to go up here. Oh, he doesn't have the hook shot. That's right. Okay. So that makes a lot more sense from Gerdo's perspective.
Yeah, not having the mitts from Hobo means that flute does not get him his Mire area access. That's going to be interesting because, I mean, you got to get those gloves. So when does Gerdo feel like he's run out of checks and go back for it?
Yeah, it's surprising that he skipped Hobo with it being in logic. It makes a little bit more sense when it's out of logic. It's kind of a far swim. It seems like
those flippers were right in the village, so yeah, it's
Yeah, he had the flippers when he made those checks, so it's surprising that he skipped those checks. We're saying before, if Gerdo definitely has the execution advantage in this seed, so I'm surprised that he thinks like
and the
he
spin
needs
speed
that
off
big of a skip.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely though. It's gonna that may end up being a tail of the tape, as it were. Ice Rod now out of the top of Paradox Cave. Notable, Doc, no bombs. Was not able to grab the 2 at the bottom.
Yeah, there's another bomb jump there. That's just a little nifty time saver. Unfortunately, not be able to do it, so he's gonna have to go all the way around.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't even get the items, and there's a shop there, but you need a bomb to get into it. So this is gonna be a long way up the spiral cave, I suppose.
That's one of those shops that I always forget about.
You almost never need it.
Yeah, it's one of I've been in Marty's situation before. You really pay attention to your bombs early on in a match, and then because there's a lot of early bomb checks, and after that you're just kind of like, well, I'll have bombs, right? And then you just like, oh, I need one here. Oh no. So
yeah,
it's a bad
with
feel.
that late sword, the arrows being what they were for a bit.
Yeah, fortunately he was able to get all the checks that he needed to do, and he really it's just time loss by not being able to make that bomb jump.
Ooh, Gerdo falling to Moldorm here as he had made his way up the tower.
Good old Moldorm. It does not matter how good you are at this game. Moldorm will do that to you.
Yep.
Especially just with the fighter sword.
Yeah, this pretty much the NMG fight, and it's not pretty. Most NMG runners, I think, will bemoan their heroic times constantly. But yeah, the one advantage he does have is half magic tape. So he's going to take advantage of it because who has the time?
Yeah, I think if you're, you play this game a little bit and you hate Moldorm, it's like, man, I just want to, one day I won't hate Moldorm, I'll be good at it. Again, Gerdo's one of the top guys to play this game, and even he was like, I don't want to deal with this, I'm going to cape, just screw that.
Yeah, I mean, you have
it never gets better.
Why not? Yeah.
So I tend to have too much pride.
Right, yeah, like I shouldn't have to do this.
I don't need cape.
But, yeah. It's like, sure, you don't need
2
it,
minutes
like,
later, I'm dead. Why do I keep losing these matches? I don't get it.
Yeah. But now, Marty goes back to house, gets a bomb, comes immediately back up to this other slot of Paradox Cave. Gerdo now on the trail for those mitts.
Yeah, Gerdo pretty much narrowed it down to being just here.
Oh, and the trip back up here is gonna prove just to be time, as he just picks up heart pieces.
So, after all that,
I mean, you don't want to strand those, but yeah.
no, but I'm just thinking we're kind of out of spots. I think it's still Moon
Zora
Pearl and Pyramid.
Yeah, Zora or Egg.
It could just be Zora has it, which
Yeah,
means.
or at least an item that gets us somewhere.
But what gets you anywhere besides Moon Pearl right now?
Green Pendant's the only thing I can think of, and I think the item is on Lambo and Desert.
That's true. That's true. So
Yeah.
it could be Lamp. But like Moon Pearl's got to be next. There's really nothing left in Light World that another item
it's going to
could
be
get
a
us.
short chain. Some more out of logic checks here. The Super Bunny Cave, named for the glitch in place here. Something about falling through those holes, the game just forgets that you are not supposed to be able to do that.
Yeah, I think it has to do, the game doesn't expect you to be in bunny state after like entering a transition like that. So we're just like, oh yeah, you're Link, right?
Yeah. Yeah, because why would you do this? How could you? And speaking of Super Bunny, it looks like Guro is going to try to get the Meyer shed here this way, and it looks like Marty's actually doing the same thing. This one...
Oh, that's surprising that he came
not automatic.
Back for this.
Yeah, but Guro gets it
no,
here.
he's not. Oh, he's going to Desert.
Ooh.
Oh!
Ooh.
That's
gross.
No, actually, that's good. It pretty much has to mean... Zora's either Fire Rod now, which feels kind of weird and unlikely to put Pearl on, or... I mean, that takes Aga out of play completely, so Aga's done. Zora has to be Moon Pearl. Pretty much has to be.
Huh.
So that is a great find by Gerdo.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't... It's not gonna really help him too much against Marty in the situation, from Marty not doing that glitch. But, because he'll come back there sooner than later, but... Like, he knows he's pretty much has to do Zora at this point. Or, well, that's right, Old Man. No, wait, no, that's right. Old Man's way out of logic, so...
Yeah, yeah.
This is... actually, I'm not sure why he's doing this, then.
Figuring item locations up here versus... well,
Maybe, but he's got to be beelining that.
You got the mitts. Yeah, you go to Zora for your Pearl here, and then you can do all of the side of Death Mountain.
Yeah, it can't...
I'm already doing that rupee farming.
Pearl can't be on Pyramid now. It's got to be somewhere in Light World you haven't checked, and he's really down to just Pearl. And there's nothing else that Old Man could have given you that, like, oh, I can do some other stuff while I'm here.
Right.
So...
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, alright, never mind. I forgot. Gerdo has not done Death Mountain yet. So that's why he did that.
Yeah, it's an item amount thing.
I thought he was just coming up here. I got confused. I thought he was just coming here just to the Old Man. Like, so after this, he should know that it is Zora. This is really smart by Guro, though, knowing that he wants to check this. So he's gonna, because he's the mirror, he can just come over here and do it, and he can kind of combo in the two. It's a little time saver, but he's gonna save a couple seconds by doing it this way. So heads up play by Guro.
Yeah, for sure. Gonna get his Ice Rod out of here. He's gonna need that later.
He's probably also thinking, man, Moon Pearl has got to be here, right? So he's thinking, I got the mirror. I'm gonna have mitts. I have hook shot. I'm gonna have the Moon Pearl. I'm just gonna go do hook shot right now. And unfortunately, it's gonna be like the 1 out of like 8 chance that Moon Pearl is not actually here. And there we go.
Yeah.
Okay, so that Moon Pearl puts everything in logic now. That Moon Pearl gives us the lamp and mire, which gives us the boots, which gives us the mirror, which soon will give us the hammer.
Yeah, we're pretty much off to the races now. I can't imagine it's very long before Gerdo gets up there to the big kingfish and gets what he needs.
What's interesting about this seed, and just seeds kind of this type where you get a bucket of stuff before Dark World. So much of the Dark World is now open by the time you get it. Like it's really just kind of becomes a coin flip of what you do first.
Oh yeah, it can be pretty intimidating to try to figure out, like, all right, like I have like 6 quote unquote high percentage checks I can make.
Yeah, this,
And they're all
however,
crystals, and like, what do you do?
yeah, and it could just be everything's in pot. I'm really surprised Marty is coming here first, though. Oh, never mind. He doesn't have the hammer. Right. He needs. I was thinking, just go get your hammer, dude. But yeah, okay. So
I think
he's
on his
beelining
way.
this hammer.
Yeah.
It doesn't want to do Thieves Sound. I would think in his situation, I would just go ahead and knock some of these checks off while I'm passing through here.
Yeah, he's gonna grab Stumpy. Probably go down to the Grove Cave. Yeah.
Yeah,
Swap.
maybe thinking he definitely. It's not like he can just ignore Village of Outcasts. He's got to come back from Thieves Town sooner than later.
Yeah.
So just might as well zip right by those, because it could be there's just a pile of stuff in pod and you're done soon. I mean, at this point we're only looking for, let's see, Fire Rod. We need medallions, and that's it.
Yeah.
I believe.
g3rd0 going for surefire fast rupees now into the hula hand room.
Yeah, he knows what the seed's making him do now, so...
Yeah, and a few more for the road, because he's thinking, oh, Palace of Darkness.
Yeah, I did miss where that Samaria was. I'm not sure where g3rd0 found it.
That was in the front of Escape.
Oh, that's right. Marty hasn't done front of Escape yet, so...
It's true.
That's... Oof. You know, and again, a situation like this where you've already gotten a pile, you don't need much, you have Dark World access now. When are you going to do Escape? Marty's not going to do Escape until late.
Yeah.
That could be the game right there.
Ooh, Quake at a hype cave here. Likely to be picked up by both runners. And did we? It looks like we got the Meyer check. Our tracker picked it. It was Quake. So that could be ugly later.
Yeah, Pendant Mire is always 2 items. That's another one that you're really going to put off really late.
Yeah, and just a long time to get into.
So assuming those last 2 items, or whatever to Rock could also be Quake. So assuming they're not too
wild,
this seed's probably going to come down to when Marty decides to escape. And
seems like
I just have trouble seeing him just going like, oh, I skipped this in the beginning and never did it. I'll just do it. When do you do it? Like, it's just something you don't think about.
Because the whole point of gambling a check is to not do it, right? And not to say that it's even necessarily a gamble. He found plenty of other profitable things to do here.
Yeah, especially when the seed is just like, when the seed's throwing items at you, and like there's a location you skipped, it's just like and then Dark World opens up, it's just like, it feels so unlikely that the one item you were missing is still in Light World. Like, that's just not even something you think about.
It was in Sphere Zero, yeah.
So, Marty does have, even with the time g3rd0 spent doing an escape, Marty has a slim lead here, but that, that check is probably going to come back to haunt him.
Yeah, we'll see. Oh, the hammer out of Thieves Town now. Gonna get him to run back around to the Grove, perhaps at some point.
Yeah, what are our 5/6 crystals? It looks like Torrock and Pod.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only time I can think him doing escape is comboing in with Pyramid, and even if you could on top of that combo in with Pyramid Fairy would maybe force Marty's hand to go in there, but with it being Turtle Rock, and of course we know Samaria is in, that's never going to happen for him.
Ugh. But yeah, that's a dark timeline for him in that regard.
Yeah, so maybe he'll mirror when he checks Pyramid, if he checks it sooner than later. Although it's going to be a weird check because you got so many dungeons you can do right now.
Yeah,
I expect him to beeline Pod right after this.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you do it on the way over to the Palace of Darkness, then maybe? But g3rd0 finding another... Oh, one digging game. There you go. 10 arrows. Get out of here.
Not only one dig, optimal one dig. Digging under the dude. That's very nicely done.
I'll tell you what, that guy running a bit of a shady business, too. Ooh, I bet you can't find the treasure. Right?
Yeah. Probably the only good thing about playing Hundo is you learn how to get good at dig game.
Right.
Of course, g3rd0 uses lots of glitches to play Hundo. He doesn't play the peasants Hundo.
But yeah, another sword coming for g3rd0 out of the, I believe it was Sea House, or maybe it was Brewery, I forget, but coming down and around here.
Just answering from chat, everything we have now is in Logic. That Moon Pearl throw everything back in Logic. The the lamp is in Mire Shed, which Marty didn't do the glitch to get into that Guro did. So Marty thinks he's out of logic, but we know he's technically in logic.
You'll have to see if that ends up affecting his routing a bit. But you figure you got a crystal dungeon you can complete here, and even if the enemies on the way through are a bit of a pain, at least Blind doesn't care what sword you have.
Yeah, I think if anything, it'll just make him do Swamp before Pod, because he might be thinking Pod's out of logic. But you know, Swamp before Pod, he can kind of just do this whole loop, do Swamp, go up into Pod. So I don't really think it's gonna matter too much for him. There's not a lot of dark rooms in the Dark World until you get into the some of the later dungeons.
Yeah. And chat concerned about G3rd0 missing cave, and you'll see he's gonna probably stop right in there right now. Figures, oh, I can get right back around here. Why take the time as he pulls out the bombs? Because he was gonna take this portal anyway.
Yeah, I mean, he could have gotten the and just swam to Pod if he was thinking Pod right away. So it'd be interesting if he does do Pod right here. Because I think the slightly more efficient thing would have been get the item, go back to Dark World, swim over to Pod. It would have saved you just a little bit of time. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, it's tough to say. But the fire rod coming out of the big chest of Thieves Town now. So we got both of our rods. We know where the cane is, the hammer, the mitts. We don't know what medallion is required for
this is
Rock.
potentially
Quake.
Yeah, potentially it's go.
I was gonna say we're pretty much done here.
No mode for us. We know where everything would be. So
Yeah.
we're all we're missing is either the Bombos or Ether with the Turtle Rock knowledge. So it'd be interesting when Marty decides to make the play up to Turtle Rock. He may do it early just to get the knowledge. He's also still missing Kane, which we know is an escape. So one of the big things in Rando is the Death Mountain climb takes long, and you try to minimize the amount of trips you have to take up there.
Yeah, absolutely. Your optimal is getting a Crystal Turtle Rock in before GT if you can do it.
Yeah, but he's still got 4 checks to do for Hookshot Cave because he only did the Super Bunny glitch. And then he'll get the Turtle Rock knowledge. So it makes it somewhat attractive to go up. Just that knowledge can be pretty powerful. But
yeah,
I think this makes sense. At least clear off the dungeons. You know, do Pod, do Swamp Palace. Maybe actually just do all the dungeons. Yeah, if I was Marty, I think that's what I would do. I would just hard go all the dungeons right now. Hope I find Kane at some point, which unfortunately we know he won't doing this.
Oh.
And then do Turtle Rock.
Yeah, I think, like you mentioned in the opening for the race, like if he's hoping to have an edge here against G3rd0, that's probably the mindset he needs to take. But we know that that's probably going to burn him here unless he gets right over to Pyramid with the mirror after this.
If I had his loadout and I'm just looking for Kane, potentially, maybe a medallion, I'm going to be trying to go as hard as possible right here. I'm not going back to escape. If he does go back to the escape, it would be confusing, honestly.
Yeah,
I mean, play, but it'd be confusing.
Yeah, that would have to be a call he makes only on his gut.
G3rd0 also doing Swamp before Pod is interesting. He's got all the swords.
Yeah.
So this is another thing that's going to help. So he's going to speed G3rd0 up. But he's got the boots. He's got the sword. You know, he's in his comfort zone now. He's going to be flying from this point out on. So
yeah, it's only a matter of time before he gets that fire rod out of the big chest in Thieves Town. He's got the hammer. There's no reason he'll skip it.
Yeah, I'm surprised at Swamp first because this is a dungeon you like to go mode. We know it's go modable in this scene. In fact, all Dark World dungeons besides Thieves Town are go modable, and Thieves Town is the one you don't even care about really to go mode.
Yeah, because you pretty much have to go through the whole thing anyway. Taking the
it saves a little bit. You can get cheeky and steal a key and like do some stuff like that, but like
yeah. We'll see. I guess he's thinking medallions, I guess, are the big risk factor. If it turns out to be Bombos or Ether for our Turtle Rock opening, then we may still be a bit at a loss in terms of finishing.
When they make the Dark Death Mountain play will be interesting. A little bit becomes a little bit more attractive. If you have 2 medallions, you can technically have a much better chance of just crossing Turtle Rock off at that point.
Yeah.
But Gerdo's heading into the Argus fight right now. He'll probably be trying to attempt a 0 cycle, which is a really cool strat. This is one of the harder bosses in the game, and he misses the hook dash, unfortunately.
Yeah. But is gonna go to town and try to get it done, but the warp's there, just not enough time.
Yeah, missing the first hook.
Oh yeah, but I mean, put it out.
Really screws it up. He actually does a really good job of just not getting a 2 cycle there. And he's gonna break out the ice rod. Just finish him off there. Very nicely done.
Yeah, great recovery there in the fight. I think if we didn't say anything, you almost wouldn't know he made the mistake.
Oh yeah. Sorry, Gerdo.
Yeah, no, but like
it's the price of being good. I'm gonna point out all the little stuff now too.
Right. Yeah.
Looks like Gerdo is dipping off of it. I'm not sure how many he's got left in here. I wasn't counting items.
Honestly, I didn't quite catch it either.
I think this is a fair move for Gerdo to make. Just because there's he's got so many dungeons available. It would feel really bad to be over there. The only reason I would think Gerdo would make the left side small play is to just be playing very defensively again, knowing he's going to be moving a little bit faster throughout the seed, and you almost can treat that like as currency where you can spend it in certain places.
It's true, yeah. That time, that perception you have, oh, I found this sword here, that's going to help me out, and it might be a bit because I know my opponent will want to go mode this dungeon. I can use that to my advantage now and make a conservative check. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but Gerdo's got basically finished all the items that are going to help him go fast in this seed.
Yeah.
So
looks like he'll be right on his way to Thieves Town now. That's going to be fantastic for him. That fire rod.
Yeah, this is a good fire rod location. He'll be able to just go straight up into Skull Woods. We may even be. Ooh, I'm excited. We may be seeing the rarely seen Thieves Town spin speed.
Oh yeah.
Oh man,
if he did it in Tower Hera, I have no ticket.
I think he's already. If he hasn't cleared Village of Outcast yet, he won't really be able to do it because he's got to clear it out still. But
he had, so he will.
Oh baby, yeah,
because his second sword was off the Sea House. Yeah, you probably didn't know that staircase that appears to go down functions like all the ones that go up, and you can get your speed off of that.
I'm pretty sure the only actual run it's used in is a mirror shield. So it's just one of those dumb things that all the vanilla guys love to see. It's great.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm creating 4 minutes of tension for a spin speed, so.
hopefully Gerdo delivers. Otherwise we have to find some clips and send them to chat.
Marty, meanwhile, is he's doing his pop play. He's in the dark maze. The lamp again is one of those items you don't need. Runners don't really care about, especially when they get that fire rod. It is an item that does speed you up though, because it's pretty much impossible to go through those dark rooms as fast as you would if you could see. So this is all little time that Gerdo's going to be able to claw back here. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I mean, even if you know those rooms, you got to memorize or you pull up the image.
Yeah.
It's still just seeing exactly what's happening, if there's enemy RNG to deal with or anything.
Yeah, and Myers Shed is another location that Marty is probably not going to do for a while, because he's already cleared out most of that area.
Yeah, having done Desert, did Checkerboard, obviously, to get his hook shot. Gonna want to avoid Pendant Mire. It's gonna be a tough choice to make.
The big question for Gerdo right now is going to be, he's going to get this fire rod, and that would put him in go mode, except for knowledge of TR pendant, and he's only got one medallion, so it's not that likely that it's the Turtle Rock medallion. So I'm gonna be interested to see how much he like hard go modes the dungeons coming up here, or he might just, you know, somewhat of a reason to play is, okay, I might be in go mode with this quake. Maybe you just go up the Turtle Rock. It's an
just
an
to
extra.
check.
Yeah, it would cost you an extra climb because you know you can't go to Ganon's Town right there, but it'll put you at peace of mind for the rest of the seed because you'll know whether you can go mode, you know, Skull Woods and Ice Palace, and I guess that's it for him at this point in Pod.
Yeah, and I mean and those dungeons go moding them not insignificant. I think
Ice Palace is the big one.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And Pod just matters where the big key is. It's one of those, you don't know how much time Pod Goma is going to save you until you're in there. If the big key's right up front and you get in, you know, it's just like on right side or something, you can go real fast. If it's buried in the back, then it's like it doesn't even matter.
Right, yeah, because you're basically full clearing the dungeon at that point.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're looking at a 2/3 chance that you can't get in, then why not just make it 100%, right? Because I mean, best case scenario. Because really, it's not like you said. It's not about even getting into the dungeon. It's about the number of climbs. And so, if you gotta do 2, just do 2.
I think if I was g3rd0, knowing that you know, I've got, you know, good execution and I've been playing the seed very well. He probably feels pretty comfortable. I feel like I'd want to spend some of that advantage just to go check that and put it to rest. And I think that would be a good play. Although. And we didn't get the spin speed, g3rd0. No.
Oh, we got the mirror instead because we're getting that flute. We're probably going to the mountain.
He's probably doing what I just said he was going to be doing.
Yup, yeah, we're up the mountain.
I think this is smart.
The other thing I'm thinking of, there's 5 other locations that the medallion that maybe we don't have for Turtle Rock could be in too. And by going up the mountain, you're right next to him. So we'll see what he does here.
Yeah, I think this is smart. You know, g3rd0's probably feeling very comfortable right now. He's got all of his movement items. He's got his precious boots. You know, just let's find out, because maybe I'm in go mode right now, and any time I spend is just a waste of time. Or maybe I'm not in go mode, and you know, medallions are one of the hardest items to find in go mode. So if this is ether or something, you know, he's gonna go from the feeling of like, oh man, I'm almost done, to like, this could be anywhere. So
right, yeah, this is the difference between do you check pedestal once you get into Skull Woods and things like that.
I think if this is Quake, Marty's gonna have a real tough time catching up. He needs this to be ether, and he needs ether to be buried.
Absolutely. Well, it's ether.
Well,
so into Hookshot Cave we'll go. Is the key under the mat? We'll find out.
That Turtle Rock medallion is in here. More often than it has any right to be, I swear.
Yeah. And now, Marty's showing us some new stuff here in Skull Woods. He's been making his way around. There's Bombos. Oh, be still my heart. 'Twas not the medallion we're looking for.
That's always cruel.
Yeah.
Now, g3rd0 didn't even... I remember g3rd0 set up that mirror before. I guess he was really banking on that Moon Pearl being there and just was sad when it wasn't, so he didn't even bother doing this.
Yeah. So I definitely had mentally checked it off in my head on his side.
g3rd0 not actually going to Spike Cave, which is interesting. It's one of the better times to check it. It's not in logic because we don't... Oh, he's got Cave. Never mind. It's in logic. Never mind. Yeah. But it looks... Oh, no. He's just doing the refill. Yeah, once you have the old man save point, the old man is the fastest place to get a refill and then flute away from. So you see most runners just start there. It's just the quickest. I think it's even quicker than Link's house if you just walked out and didn't even get old man kisses.
Yeah, the position by the door and everything gives it just the optimal. Alright, so into the moth fight is Marty. g3rd0 gonna make his way over to a lamp-lit pod.
Yeah, this is a real tough Moth fight with just fighters. Sorry, he does have half magic and fire rod, so he can just kind of spam it and kill Moth. Fire rod is surprisingly ineffective against Moth. Does less than... It's like Master Sword damage or something. It's not a lot. I think you need 8 shots.
Yeah, if you get the right RNG with the Tempered Sword, it would make you wonder why anyone ever uses the fire rod.
Yeah, you can get really fast kills with the Tempered Sword. Even with Master Sword, you can do it pretty good. Marty getting him down there, but Yeah, fire rod is really weak. I actually use it more not to damage Moth, but just to get him off the spikes, so I can kill him with
Right.
something more effective.
Right,
Unless
yeah,
in this
'cause if he hangs
situation
out
where
on
I have
top.
fighter sword and I don't have something more effective, then like, yeah, all right, let's just fire rod him.
Yeah. But he is able to get the job done, and with the fighter spin to finish it to boot.
Yeah, it was a real nice Moth fight. The fighter sword Moth fight's never gonna look that good, so he did a real good job there. Just staying alive, getting him down pretty efficiently. That's about the best you can hope for.
Yeah.
And I think what Guro's doing too, I think makes sense. What he's probably thinking is, all right, I need that ether. Let me do the dungeons in the reverse order of how good they are to go mode. So again, pod, if the key's buried, it saves you nothing. So we'll do this one first.
Yeah.
Gonna do Ice Palace last. I'd expect to see him to head over to Skullwoods probably before Ice Palace. Again, just knock that one off. It's not too bad to not go mode. Marty pulling the bomb wall. I haven't seen that in a while.
Yeah. Not when you usually get random. Most folks will do the bomb here, but
Yeah, it makes that
works.
bonk a lot harder too.
Yeah, it is able to get it done. But yeah, the other factor I think coming into g3rd0's decision here, the high item density of pod. You got the 5 potentials here.
Yeah, this definitely makes this again. It doesn't help a lot if you could go mode it.
Yeah,
sometimes.
so you may as well clear all
and
the
it's got a
items.
bunch. So come here.
For
When you're looking for one item, you're really just gonna do the dungeons, try to find stuff. Because you got to do the dungeons anyways. The interesting one is if he gets it down to Ice Palace, because the other one he hasn't done a Skullwoods, and we know that's going to be a blank for him.
Marty back up the mountain here.
Yeah, Marty's going to be looking for that information as well see how close he is. Unfortunately, he's going to be 2 items away. He's still going to have to make that escape play. So like I said before, and it's still true, Marty really needs this ether to be buried. And g3rd0 forgetting why we don't hammer jump in Rando a lot. You need the big key, and you need a key, or it turns out you're stuck over there. Which I have made that mistake. Get a really nice double bomb hammer jump, and you go, oh, I'm stuck here.
Yeah.
Interesting that g3rd0's just not turning around just to get that. I mean, maybe he made hammer jump again, which I hope he does. That'd be great.
Yeah, do it from the top. We'll see.
I can't do it from the top. It's so just like bred into my skull of like doing it from the bottom that I get lost.
Oh yeah, for sure. Those things that are so pixel specific, you just a muscle memory to them, and why would you deviate?
Yeah, you get into such a rhythm that trying to do it like it's like it's like trying to write with your left hand or your offhand. It's like I know how to do this, it's just not working correctly.
Right.
Here it is, the second hammer jump.
And confident here.
Yeah.
Nice. For the map.
And he gets a map. 2 hammer jumps for a map.
We have been seeing a fair bit of good boots tech from both runners, some key dashes, and earlier in Thieves Town, g3rd0 getting his cancels in on each of the gates on the way to the Maiden.
g3rd0 breaking out the Samaria block here for the archery. So I guess it's no longer the archery contest when you use the Samaria block, but it makes this room, the sexy statue room, just throw that block down. This Mimics room up here is definitely one of the tougher rooms in the game. They're doing a very nice job of it. All of the Mimics rooms in this game, the pod ones and the ones in GT, I've said before, it's like if you do nothing but practice those rooms, you're in pretty good shape. Just because they're so detailed and like there's so much going on. You got to control the Mimics while shooting the bow and everything. Like they are really hard rooms.
Yeah, I'll say the GT ones definitely present the challenge, the extra obstacles for sure.
Yeah, the pod one is a little bit easier to just kind of fake your way through it and like have be fairly fast through it without like You know, knowing one of like the top strats, the mimic, the GT ones, like you pretty much have to like. There's like 2 ways of doing it, and you better do one of those ways, otherwise it's going to be a bad time.
Right, yeah, BMOS will punish you for getting the input.
Marty, meanwhile, making the dip into Swamp with the fighter sword. I know the temper. There was one sword in here. I wasn't sure if I don't know where Girdle got the master sword. Were both swords in here?
No, there was one stored in the loot chest here in Swamp, the other in Sea House.
See how? Oh,
yeah, and then of course our first sword for both runners. For
oh, I didn't even realize that Marty had.
Rock.
So Marty, so yeah,
Marty skipped Sea House. Yeah.
Yeah, he skipped Village of Outcasts on the way to just Beeline and Hammer. I said because he was going to come back.
Yeah.
Fortunately, he went back to Thieves Town and still didn't do it. That's
that might be a bit for him.
Yeah,
still another sword at large, so he could even it out. But I think that Kane is probably still his main point of worry.
Yeah, he'll be able to finish the game with Master Sword. It's definitely it doesn't matter how good you are. It's straight up slower, just because the Ganon fight requires you can't 1+1 him with the Master Sword. He needs 24 spins, silverless. It's, you know, it can be pretty long. So you always like to see that tempered. Gold Sword really doesn't matter too much if you know all the strats. I think one of the only places Gold Sword optimally saves time is on Trinex. Like Trinex and Cold Stare are like the only 2 places where it saves you any time whatsoever. Most enemies in the game just die to 1/ from tempered.
Right, yeah. And even if you're looking to do the extra damage, the tempered spin, worth it. The gold spin, generally ineffective. Well, not totally ineffective, but the same as gold slash. Kane gonna help Gerdo out here. Another push button room. As Marty does the room in Swamp that you can't use the Kane for. You despawn the block, you dingus. But of course he knows that and he pushes that statue right along.
So we're running out of places that this Ether Medallion could be where Marty has much of a shot at this. We know it can't be Pyramid Fairy. Pyramid Fairy is completely off the table now, obviously, with Turtle Rock being one of the 5/6.
Rock, yeah. Shovel Spot, yeah, but they both have the shovel, so it's like a matter of time.
Spike Cave might be one
That's
place.
That's probably the best one.
Yeah, because Gerdo isolated it.
Yeah.
That's probably looking like Gerdo's last location spots. There's when you're playing this game, there's especially if you skip location or something, you just mentally go, that's the spot I'm checking last. You're not coming back until you have everything. I would suspect Spike Cave is that for Gerdo at this point.
Yeah, and let's see if we can't get another look at the item counts here, as Marty is likely to do the menu bar.
Oh, left side swamp. That's right. I did forget.
Yeah.
Gerdo skipped left side swamp. So.
I know. Actually, he's going to be going for the sword moves. Yeah. Because it looks like I think Marty hadn't gone there either.
Yeah, this Argus fight is a lot harder. I said when Gerdo came into this fight that trying for the 0 cycle is one of the harder bosses. It's even worse than that with Master Sword. There's only like 2 people I know of who can do like this similar strats with Master Sword, and you can still only get a 1 cycle. You can't even 0 cycle it.
Right, yeah, just another one of those places, like you're pointing out earlier, where them sword upgrades literally just represent like huge wells of time that you can make up.
Yeah, even with like fighter sword, this fight takes forever. Like coming in, like the difference between a fighter sword Argus fight, even optimally, and a tempered, it's like 20 plus seconds, because you're really only going to be able to get like a 3 cycle with that fighter sword. It's so worthless. Or you play the menu mini game, which is always fun.
Right. All right. Get your blessed RNGs and your pet emotes in chat. We're getting the check. 3 bombs. So it won't be that buried spot that holds Ether.
Yeah, it could be. Meyer is still going to be a place that Gerdo is not going to go to for a while. And we were talking about, but it looks like Marty's also skipping left side swamp. So maybe it could be there's just one item over there.
Yeah, because I was pretty sure I saw at least the map or the compass, but I could be mixing it all up.
Yeah,
If,
this is
if
one.
anybody in chat has the definitive info, be sure to let us know.
This is one of those situations where Mario's thinking like, "Oh, I got to make gambles to beat Gerdo." I would actually prefer him in that situation to actually go to left side swamp, because the bigger payoff. I mean, if you skip it, you just saved a minute, right? If there's only one item over there and that's the item you need to finish the seed, that's a lot more than a minute, because your opponent probably skipped it and is going to be doing a lot of stuff to find it. So that could have been a place that, if Marty thinks he may needs to make a couple moves to pull this one out, that's something I would have liked him to do.
Yeah, it definitely has a possibility of having been a huge payoff play, and depending on each runner's temperament towards that spot, may still end up paying off for him if it ends up holding that ether medallion.
It's one of those weird things that it's the everyone's like, oh, you need to make gambles, you need to make plays. It's one of those things that, like, the bigger gamble is actually playing conservatively and doing some of these like really long checks early. They're easy to isolate, and if
it's go to escape without a reliable weapon. Well, because it ended up having Kane.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's one of those things, like, if you skip something, it's got a fixed payoff, right? It's only this saves you 30 seconds. Like, skipping a Gina saves you 30 seconds.
Right.
But it's like, if you think your opponent, maybe the seed's loaded and your opponent's not going to do a Gina, like, the upside could be 20, 30, 20 minutes, because they're just never going to go there. They're going to last location it. And turned out it was a jet seed if he went there. So the upsides can be way bigger for some of these spots.
Absolutely, and that's a factor often unconsidered. Gerdo going to leave behind a bottle of green here in the graveyard check. Another one of those locations that can get isolated pretty easily, but he routed him with an empty bumper cave.
Yeah, Graveyard. The problem with Graveyard is, like, it has good combo potential. You can do it with King's Tomb. You can do it with Bumper Ledge. You can even take flippers, if you have flippers, and take it all the way to the Catfish. Combo that way. The problem is, if you don't have mirror when you did all that stuff, you kind of like do all those checks around it, and then it's just this one little dot on your map that you haven't done, and you got to come to Kakariko, go to the Dark World, go up there. It becomes a very long check by itself.
Absolutely, yeah.
So sometimes doing Graveyard Ledge is no problem. Sometimes it's a nightmare. That can just be hell.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely one of those checks that I think will kind of sneak its way into your route, basically wherever it fits. You weren't really thinking about it, but it's like, crap. Like you said, just when else do you get there?
Yeah, I think that's one of the biggest pluses to getting early mirror, is that you're going to be able to probably combo in Graveyard Ledge fairly nicely. King's Tomb can also do that if you don't have, like, if King's Tomb has mitts and the only way into it is through Dark World. King's Tomb can do the same thing, but if you have mitts, then it becomes really easy to check.
Yeah, for sure. And we're getting that Smith check now after $300 were left behind in the hammer pegs. Chat bringing up Tower of Hera. I think we've got something sitting in the torch room.
Yeah, I don't remember.
But Gerdo might even have been inclined to do it, but had no fire when he was there. Now, of course, chat going nuts because there are the silver arrows off the Smiths.
Yeah, at this point, those silver arrows are really only going to save Gerdo anytime on Ganon itself. You're going to be able to skip the silvers part of the fight.
Yeah.
It's one of those items, like, you see it, once you can do the silvers fight and you're comfortable with it, you see silvers, and especially if you already have tempered, it just goes, that saves me 40 seconds, and that's all it is. It doesn't really make your game easier or anything like that.
Yeah.
The only other time you're really excited to see him is, like, you're stuck on Fighter Sword and you got to do Vidi, because again, that's just a real long fight.
Yeah.
Even if you're not scared of it,
Vidi's got a bajillion hit points.
Bajillion hit points of a billion eyes. It's just, it's terrible.
Yeah. All right, so Gerdo getting through these last 1s and 2s here. Meanwhile, Marty on his way to Cold Stare.
Fighter Sword Vidi also got harder in V30 because of the removing the bomb upgrades. It used to be you would chuck 30 bombs at him and just soften him up that way. You can still do it, but you probably only have 10. And most people don't come and buy these bombs anymore. But you actually have to pay attention to your bomb count on that. Like, and you need bombs afterwards. A lot of times you do Vidi and it's like, Like I was saying before, you don't think about bombs late in a seed. All of a sudden, you're like, I need to go get bombs again. Like,
Yeah, we saw
go to it.
Marty save and quit, go get a bomb out of the 50-50, and go back to make sure he didn't leave a spot behind in Paradox Cave. And that was time, you know, with not to, I don't know, I don't want to sound like insulting here, but basically if he had paid attention more closely to the bomb counter, if the drops were nicer, right, then it wouldn't have been an issue.
Yeah. That was also potentially a location, you know, when he did that, you know, it wouldn't have been a bad idea, like saying, okay, I'm probably gonna, unless like mitts are in here or something like that.
Right.
You know, I can come back here and I can do it with Super Bunny, or I can do it with Hookshot a little bit later on. So that wouldn't have been too bad to isolate, because you know you can bring that back in later.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ice Palace is one of the I mean one of the more frustrating dungeons, and Gerdo is just tearing through it. This is definitely one of those places that you can really see like how much time like a top runner makes up, because he's flying through this. I have a little trouble with the bear room. I'm gonna see a nice hammer dash here. He's gonna beat this fire bar coming across. Just a little bonk over. Get through this room in like 12 seconds. That's one of those rooms that like when you first start off, it's like I just, you know, like I can do IPBJ, I'm happy, and then like you see like a guy like Gerdo do it where he just flies to that room. You're like, wait, now I got to do it fast. Like,
yeah,
it has a
you
whole
saw him pause, and
level
it
on it.
wasn't to buffer or anything. He's just, oh, I'm on the pixel. Let me get my, you know, already on to the next thing.
Yeah, it's one of the
spins to use there in that second Pengator room.
Yeah, using that menu really helps you set up. I think one of the things NMG really teaches you like how to use menus effectively. Like that menu there, you play on that bomb jump. You have to place the bomb on one pixel and then move to a second pixel. You can use that menu to kind of like judge how far you move down, and like a lot of times you can just tell that you got it right away. You don't even like read anything. Like, oh yeah, I'm on this spot. I don't even have to do anything. I'm fixed, or I know I need to move one up or one down. So just like effective use of your menus there, just, you know, all these little things, they really add up. You know, and again, as an hour and a half, you know, random match can be up to like 2 hours long, depending on how the seed plays out. All that little stuff, you know, really adds up to just like minutes at the end of the game. It can be a really big difference maker.
Absolutely. Doc getting his one digger in. But yeah, absolutely. All those little things count for sure, because you do have to do the whole run, and if you do any part slow, it just might cost you.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of this stuff, you know, I'm talking about, it's like, oh, it's like a 10-frame save, and it's like, you can get, it's so easy to get lost in the mindset of like, it's just 10 frames. It's like, I'll worry about that when I lose by 10 frames and that kind of stuff. It's like,
right.
Yeah,
right.
But if you set that thing to like 30 different things, you know, that's a minute already we're talking about.
Right.
That math is not correct, by the way, so please don't do it.
But yeah, I mean, lining up your doors, being sure to do optimal like wall pumps and stair pumps when you can.
Yeah, I mean, just even like a thing like stair, just canceling stair lag. It's 8 frames every staircase in the room, and it's really easy to do. You just hold left or right.
Yeah.
You know, it's free time. You're just, you know, if you're not doing, you're just hucking out the window, and you're letting a guy like Gerdo just, you know, gain chunks of time on you.
For sure. And one chunk of time that Gerdo won't be gaining on Marty is Silver's, as he has done his Smith check now. Gonna take that purple chest around as well, it looks like.
Gerdo having a very good cold stair fight using the single poke method.
Yeah, it just keeps all 3 puffs up in the corner.
A lot of runners have moved to that single poke. It's a little bit more consistent than doing a 6/, and it's you know, it's only frames slower than the double poke, but it's a lot easier. So you see a lot of people using that method now. Yeah,
when you're competing that way, on top of those time saves we were talking about, sometimes consistency comes to factor too.
Yeah, this is definitely a game where consistency is more important than speed. Marty, meanwhile, making use of I guess not really new. I think people have known about it. I think really we just realized how to make use of this. But if you can dash away from that chest, and it's the NPC follower is still set on you until you do the mirror. So as long as you mirror in the turn-in radius, you'll get the check right there. So the purple chest forces you to move at walk speed. So what it allows you to do is just go to Dark World and you can just dash straight to the purple chest guy. So it's a little time save, but it's you can save you a couple seconds. Those dashes while we're walking really add up pretty quick.
Oh, for sure. And yeah, that from what I understand, that glitch known for some time, but just no practical use for it as far as most of the vanilla game categories.
Yeah, I forget. I don't even remember when Hundo hands in that purple chest. I think it might actually be a little bit useful in there. But I don't really run any of the Hundos because of dig game. Just no one wants to deal with that.
Yeah, we got the pyramid check now. We're getting catfish on Marty's side. Looks like we're getting Spike Cave. Or no, Tower of Hera. Passes up. All that.
We're kind of getting to the point, Gerdo, we can see that Gerdo has a pretty decent lead. We know Marty's missing that cane. But we're kind of getting to the point where any place Gerdo finds it, it's going to be possible that Marty may have found this way earlier. So he may be feeling not as comfortable as he was before.
Yeah, and especially with, I know he's frustrated with his performance in his first group matchup. He's probably thinking, like, no, not again. But probably this one's his right now.
Yeah, it's going to take either... I mean, we're running out of locations where Marty can get this thing fast. And he's, again, Marty's still got to go to escape. I think Marty's one saving grace now is that he's probably going to do, at this point, he'll probably do escape. It's, sooner than later. It's still a pile of items that he can pick up. I'm actually even a little surprised he hasn't done it already.
Yeah, with the way things are whittling down, you gotta wonder.
Yeah, so, like I said, what Marty really needed is for this medallion to be buried, and it is. So, it's really going to come down to who finds that ether first. At this point, like I said, I think Marty will, unless he's just making the play that, a lot of times you have the thought process of like, well, I skipped escape. If it's there, I've lost, so I'm just going to not worry about it.
Also true.
And this seed kind of points out why sometimes that's dangerous thinking, because there might be another item that's also in a bad spot. So sometimes it helps you just play. Don't try to meta game. Don't try to do it. Just play it as straightforward as you can. And then of course there's other times where you do that and it costs you. So. I'm not the one to listen to for routing advice. Let's be honest here. I'm a 4 seed for a reason.
Yeah. But so Doc now back in the Tower of Hera had clipped to the upper floors, taking that small key, wants to cash in and see what's here in the basement. Gerdo now has defeated Lambo, got that green pendant, and probably right over to the 5 spot. Yeah, I thought I saw him click it earlier on 6 and maybe head back to Meyer, but here he goes. So we'll see what what the turn in is good for here. Meanwhile, the opposite of speed with these tile rooms. Just money from the old man. Now, some question about the format. Yeah, it's a 7-7 open mode, no fast Ganon. Gerdo now back into the desert area. Gonna use his Quake, open that Meyer dungeon here, as Marty's gonna check off the Spike Cave. And this could be big. If this turns out to be Ether, it is unlikely that Gerdo's gonna get here quickly.
Yeah, but he's still going to have that cane, that escape play. I'm starting to worry Marty is doing what I say he was doing, where it's like, well, if it's there, I've lost. I'm not going to worry about it.
Yeah.
So Unfortunately, it's not here. I think does that mean it has to be in Mire? We're pretty low
pretty
on
much,
places.
yeah, we're pretty much out of checks at this point because it wasn't on pendant or green pendant. So I think he's done all the overworld. We got Shroom. The Hera basement was just checked, or Shroom was in Hera basement. So if Mushroom had or has Ether, then we're good to go.
Up, then there it is.
Oh well, and nice and early in there too. At least as far as Mire checks go. He had a crispy Mire 2 room, sword beams available, and does it all just so.
At this point, Marty is going to need Gerdo to make, just have a cavalcade of mistakes to be able to catch up here. He's still got to make that Mire play. He's still got to go to escape. He's probably going to be last locationing probably both of those at this point.
Yeah, we'll see what he does here. He is getting to the pyramid. This was the spot we had mentioned. Could be his chance to get in. Yeah,
this is probably... I think he's might make the escape play here. Let's see if he mirrors. He does not.
When he runs off. Yeah, that, you hate to see it.
Maybe if I didn't say anything, he would have done it.
Yeah, apathy.
I've been known to curse a few runs.
It happens.
Shoutouts to Thelaine.
Yeah. But Gerdo now, I'm gonna be able to go into another dungeon where go moding doesn't really add up. You have to walk through the whole dang thing.
Yeah, you gotta get through the whole thing. The only potential go modable things you can do in here can actually come back to bite you.
Yeah, really small keys.
Yeah, the only thing you can do is you can you need the big key in one of the early chests, so you don't have to get the vanilla big key. And then 2, there's still like it's fairly rare because there needs to be a small key in both the vanilla big key location and in the big key chest, and that only happens in like I think Dwayne told me the math one time. It was like 2% of seeds, 1%. It's something really, really small for whatever reason. It's smaller than you think it would be. So pretty much everyone just goes ahead and makes that play, especially because it's so in the meta type of thing that like if it happens to screw you, it's going to screw everyone. But it's also one of the Hail Mary plays you can make if you think you're behind, kind of like a tile room big key, where it's like, I've completely, like, if Marty finds this stuff relatively late, maybe that's something he can try. Just you know what, let me do it this way and hope that the 1% comes through for me.
Right.
Because as much as I hate to say it, that's probably about what his odds are at the moment.
Yeah, with Gerdo dashing down the corridors of his final crystal, it's going to be tough for Marty to catch up those 2 items when he, in particular, just left one behind. But dashing back, maybe thinking about escape at this point?
It could be.
I think I'd prefer...
No. Yeah. Yeah, I think, even if he's thinking like, well, if it's there, I'm done. Yeah. You're pretty thin now. I think this is about the time. If you can do it efficiently, go ahead and do it. And I think that would have been the right time to do it. That Chomp barely playing nice of Gerdo was able to get the 2 Samarias up in there and get through the room nicely.
Yeah, one of the more dangerous rooms, regardless of your equipment, just because of that enemy type.
Yeah, there are patterns that the Chomps can just take it away from you. There is a mountainous pile of clips that we have of people just having hilarious Chomp rooms where they just... I've spent 30, 40 seconds in there just because they keep taking it away from you, and you just... Now, let's see if Gerdo remembers to not NMG here. There's always a danger. Yep. Hey, we did it.
Yep, grabs his key.
You have no idea how difficult it is.
Just so he can dash.
You have no idea how difficult it is to not open that door.
Oh, yeah, no, totally. And, like, even times when you're fully aware, you'd be surprised how big the hitbox is, right?
Yeah, I was doing, like...
You're just there.
I was doing a match last night, and I was like, I can go mode TR, and I forgot to pay attention to the big key, and I got the something's missing on the big key door. The one time I remembered to skip it. I forgot about the other thing where you actually have to pay attention to your account.
Right, you have to get the big key.
Actually, this is interesting. Gerdo is going this way. This is playing it really safe.
Yeah, absolutely wants to make sure he gets that other small key.
he might just be thinking he's got, he's played pretty well. I mean, he did. That was a pretty big search for the ether. Where ether was though, that's not a location you think your opponent's going to get to first. He's kind of in the situation that either Marty went there super early and then he may just be walking away with this thing, or they both last locationed it and he feels pretty comfortable. So it's a safe play here, makes some sense in that regards.
Yeah.
Because Gerdo's played well. He's had no mistakes. He's been just flying through this thing. Early boots. He's had relatively early tempered. Nothing's really gotten in his way.
Yeah, it's definitely been doing an excellent job with this one. And you do bring up an interesting point though. That ether medallion available pretty early in what has been just a ridiculous chain of items.
We had we got to, like I said early on this seed, these guys got to Dark World, and it was just like, you can do the whole thing, just
Yeah, so it's pretty much all there.
It's one of those, a lot of times like people get like a lot of items early. It's like, oh man, this is gonna be a jet seed. It's like, yeah, but the problem is like, again, you just have to guess right. Like, it could be a jet seed if you went to the right dungeon first, or it could be that last item is somewhere, just ridiculous. Like the seeds that tend to be the jet ones are ones where it's like it's fairly linear and it's just like everything is just in path rather than like the whole world opens up and it's just like, can you do it? Like,
right, yeah, because the thing that makes a seed fast is when you can simply worry about executing and you don't have to worry about making the decision. When you can just go straight to muscle memory, hey, I've got to go do Hammer Moth. All right, fine, I do it.
Does anyone have that in the muscle memory?
Yeah, I hope not. That's spooky. Nah. But yeah, Ether Medallion was in that usual first check mire to answer chat. And that's actually Magnificent, one of the other contenders in the Group X here.
Getting the like a scout on.
Yeah. But yeah, that is crystal number 7. You see those numbers flying. Lots working, but around here, I guess folks like to guess where that Ganon's Tower big key is going to be.
Yeah, I think the bot is still down, so it's just for fun.
Yep. I think after everything they've been through, it's going to be.
Also, I'm driving the ship, so I get to play by my rules where the torch doesn't count if you don't get it. It's clearly the correct way.
I'm down with that. Because for all we know, he didn't even look at it.
Yeah, he could have had his eyes closed in that room.
Yeah. But he dashes right first.
Yeah, it's always interesting to see what people choose to do for their GT routes.
Yeah, you mentioned Blaine earlier, who I know has also studied the cases for this as well, and
yeah, I do Boyne's route now, which is, I guess people kind of call it like the modified Dark Magician, where you go left, then you come back right, and then you go full left. The benefit of it basically is it puts the ice armor last, and it's because you have to go through ice armor, so it's like a 20-second fight. Even when you know what you're doing in there.
Right, and you want to kind of plan for success and finding it without having to do that.
Yeah, I think, personally, I kind of would have wanted to, I think for people who like, high-level execution, I think that's the best route to do, because it loses the least over any other route per route. You're not really going to get buried, and it also has the upside for people who try to go full right, and there's no key over there. Since you're guaranteed to get a key, if there's no key in the hope room and big keys on the right side, you can make up buckets of time that way. It's probably gives you the highest upside of any route, and it's got the lowest downside. So I think it's really good. The only reason I'd ever divert from it is like a missing fire rod, or you're trying to make like an anti-meta play against someone.
Right. Yeah,
I think specifically if I was playing Boyne. Yeah, if I was specifically playing Boyne and it's like, yeah, I think it might be close. Maybe I'll try to make a play here.
Right, differ from the route
Yeah, otherwise we're just doing the same thing, and it's
Yeah, it gets harder to make up your time against somebody, especially a runner caliber. But yeah, Marty now going left side swamp here. We know this doesn't bode well for him, but we'll find out what's here.
Yeah, runners of this caliber, you know, generally looking to finish the seed like right around the 130 mark, maybe even a little bit less than that, for a decent seed. So I don't even think Gerdo's necessarily feeling confident here. Like I said, he's played well. He did get that ether late, but there's always the chance that your opponent just, you know, visioned it and got it real soon. So he's probably not feeling that great, but feeling probably at least okay with his chances at the moment.
Yeah, as we mentioned, the seed itself not terrible, but just kind of I don't know, just an odd.
It was a big guessing game.
Yeah,
I think where the medallion ended up, it's not too bad of a location because again, most people really aren't going to do Meyer first unless they're specifically trying to make a play. And it's, you know, Marty has tried to make a couple plays here. He just didn't so happen to make that particular one. So I think that's the only thing Gerda was worried about, is if, you know, Marty was just like, I'm gonna, you know, I feel like maybe I'm a little bit of underdog. I really gotta swing for the fences here. Besides that, I think, you know, Gerda's probably thinks he's got it. But yeah, you never know. Like you're especially on these one-on-ones, like your mind can play games with you coming up this tower.
Oh, for
you just
sure.
keep glancing over that IRC chat.
There we go. What's that? For the numbers, folks, I think that's number 19.
Oh.
Want to get our big key off of it. Oh wait, no, he didn't do the torch, right? So.
Oh yeah, haha, it's duck rules.
Yeah, but no, absolutely. The one-on-one versus the group race is definitely a huge difference in the sort of the plays you choose to make and not. And Marty now looks like he's finally getting to escape.
Yeah, if it was a group race, like someone made that play, right? There's just so many people going.
Right,
like, someone, again, like I said, the whole world's open. You know, it's just whoever flipped the coin right is going to have a really big advantage. Marty finally going to find his. Oh, you know, actually, I didn't really consider this. Marty probably was putting off Meyer for so long because he doesn't have the cane. You know, it you know, very well could be, you know, the item was on Vitreous. We know it's not, but that's probably another reason he never even considered going into Meyer, because he didn't have the cane to potentially complete it. Right.
You figure, okay, if I'm doing Meyer at this point, it's of course the seed's gonna put my required item on. And he'll find out one way or the other that he's got to get in there, but he didn't need the cane to get what he needed. Yeah, Gerdo now just armed to the teeth, red mail, fireball shield, gold sword, silver arrows, cutting up that gauntlet. Gonna get the easy one cycle here. Lining up his door. Up. Takes like 1 pixel of lag. I'll have to give him guff for it later. Nah.
There's not much else he's done wrong.
I know.
That lag pixel is pretty much it. Oh, he missed a bow dash and escape. That's right.
That's true. And he didn't do Thieves' Town spin speed.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna get all up on his business for that one.
Feeling, as you were mentioning, Gerdo may be feeling a bit nervous. You gotta think that Marty feels it all the more.
Yeah, I mean, Gerdo's done plenty of these races tournament. I know he does the German tournaments as well usually. So he's used to this. I think he's feeling okay. You know, again, the only way he's probably going to beat in the seed is if his opponent just did a super early Meyer, which, you know, if that happens, you know, he's used to it happening. So
right. Getting a little bullied here by the anti-fairies. He wants to get it and the crystal switches if that's possible.
I'm surprised he even went into the chest room, try to get that chest. There's no items he needs. You know, he's got gold sword, he's got silvers. You know, nothing's gonna speed him up here.
Yeah.
So
I think he wanted the heart
interesting.
and ended up losing it, and then of course you gotta get your last match refill there.
I don't even think he needs the heart. He's got what has he got? 7 hearts and red mail. Like,
yeah, I think he's just, you know, wants to make sure he finishes strong. Like you said, probably not feeling too nervous, but you know, you don't want to get cocky or ahead of yourself.
yeah, again, it is one difference between, like, you know, speedrunning this game and doing a race like this. Like, when you're speedrunning, you know, every second matters. You're racing against your PB.
Right.
Stuff like this, like, you know, it really helps to play conservative. Like, losing a second or two so you don't die and just completely throw this, you know, throw the match. No,
Yeah,
it's not a bad idea.
Yeah, dying is the slowest strat.
It is, yeah, it is very slow. That is a very nice hit to finish off Aga. That spin to kill him.
Took a little bit of math. Gets his 2-2-1-1 as chat calls out.
Aga is a very underrated boss. He's probably only the amount of hours you got to put into him to get good at him is second only to Landmo. And some people might even argue the other way that he's harder than Landmo.
There's ether from Marty.
Yeah, Marley finally getting his go mode. Unfortunately, Gerdo's gonna be dropping straight into Ganon's fight right when that happens. So unless a power outage at this point, which obviously we don't, no one's rooting for.
An interruption to cause this one.
Now, Gerdo gonna have a very easy fight here. Gold sword, only 6 slashes on each phase, and then just gonna be 4 easy arrows to finish the fight off. You can actually get a quad on Ganon with silver arrows and gold sword.
Is that right?
Yeah, you can. It's really hard. Not something that's easy, and it requires a little bit of luck. You can only do it in certain places where he's standing. I think if he warps in place, he might be able to get it here. Nope.
He's gonna go for the double, gonna turn around, get that torch glitch.
Oh, this is gonna be very nice.
Ooh.
Oh, didn't get it there. Didn't go for the double.
Counted because he was on top of the torch. I know the torches have to do a little bit with him.
Yeah, I don't really know the silver fight all that well.
Yeah.
He was still blue from the hit before, and then he lit the torch. I don't know if that still counts.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe DE does, but he gets across.
Finishing
first
with
place.
139.39. Very nice symmetry on his time there. And it looks like, yeah, Marty is just going to, I think, just say GG here. Not going to make the climb.
Yeah, given the forfeit shortly after there in the SRL. But yeah, GG's to both. A fun scene to watch and definitely a real twister as far as it goes. Had chances for each of the runners to kind of make it back on both, and Gerdo proves the better here.
Yeah, I think Marty had a small advantage early on. I think Gerdo really missed those mitts early on. So Marty had a little bit lead going into the Dark World, and then again, the Dark World turned out to be the, where is this one item? 2 items for Marty. But then, Gerdo just played out the rest of the seed and did very well, and he's actually joining us right now, so I'm glad I didn't say anything mean about him.
Welcome, Gerdo. GG.
GG, man.
Oh, GG.
Yeah. Doc joining us as well. GG.
Hey guys, GG's.
Yeah.
GG.
A rough one. We saw in SRL you lamenting the what ended up being part of the deciding factor here, that Red Cane location. But,
yeah, we noticed you missed.
Or go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say we noticed you missed that early, and I even said it early that with how many items you had and how open the Dark World, I had trouble seeing any time you'd really ever go back to that. Was it just one of those things that, like, if it's there, you probably lost this and just didn't even think about going back to escape, or what were you thinking with that?
Talking to me, yeah.
Sorry, yeah, talking to me, Marty.
Yeah, obviously the one who did super badly there. No, actually, I genuinely forgot to go there. As I was going through those last locations, I kept thinking, oh, I have to go to this place too. Oh, I have to go to this place too. So just when I go through it so fast, I tend to just forget these very obvious places. In one of my matches against Vush, I did something very similar. I forgot the back of Sahasrala's hut, and that cost me the entire match there too. So it's more of a pattern now at this stage.
Yeah, even that ether being very buried too. You know, that was pretty much the one when I was watching it. Your one hope was having a buried ether, which it ended up being. Unfortunately, just never made the Meyer play, and you're missing the red cane, and that was really the determining factor. You had a small lead early. Gerdo actually missed the mitts, which I guess Gerdo will ask you about. Why skip hobo early on with the flippers? That was surprising.
Yeah, I don't know. I just felt like it, dude. Like I wasn't trying.
I know it's a long swim, right?
Yeah, I jumped into the water, you know, to get over to Ice Rod Cave, and then I was like, dude, like on the way, what if I just check waterfall, right?
Right, yeah.
Then I got there, and then I went out, and I was like, dude, there's one way to Hobo, one to Ice Rod Cave. I can't do both. That's like really slow, boys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna skip Hobo for now, because that's easier to reach again.
Yeah, it just ended up being one of those seeds that you know, you got to Dark World, you could do everything.
Yeah, because like the Moon Pearl was pretty much last location in, like a forced last location pretty much in Light World. So once you finally got that, then
Yeah, we were
Sure.
thinking it was going to be lamp for a while, and then you ended up glitching into Meyer Shed to find the lamp there, and was like, at that point, we're like, it has to be Pearl, right? And I'm sure something similar went to your mind because you ended up going back to Zora pretty much as soon as it became apparent. It really looked like
Yeah.
it was going to be on Death Mountain. I know I saw you make that. You're like, oh, I'll go get the portal while I'm a bunny, and then get Moon Pearl, route all that in, and then just took it away. I was kinda
Yeah.
lying for that one. It's heads up, really heads up play to do that. They're like, you know, you're pretty sure this item's coming up, and then just does not.
Yeah, what about both of you guys? Gerdo, any other the items out of sequence? Any in particular finding them? What was an early accessible Meyer holding Ether medallion?
Yeah, I
Pay
mean,
attention for you, or how comfortable were you feeling at that?
I don't know, like in my mind it was just nice. I got this whole world open, and I gotta just guess where this Ether medallion is now.
Yeah.
And I don't know, there isn't really a structure to what I checked in there. It's just kind of take a guess and hope you're right.
Pick a go.
Yeah, so I definitely wasn't too certain that I was gonna win, because like you said, Maya was open relatively early and could have seen someone do that play early on.
Yeah, definitely a heads up play to get up the check Turtle Rock early, because you know if you ran the rest of that like you were go mode and then left like any of those dungeons, you know for sure that would be Ether medallion at that point.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I skipped left side swamp
yeah.
because I also went there way too early. That was a misplay from me. Like I did it before Thief Stone. There's really no reason to, honestly.
Yeah, that was surprising when we went in there, but you actually both of you ended up skipping it, and then Marty went back at the end looking for one of his two items that he needed.
To find bugger all.
Left side swamp.
Yeah, I mean this is a seed where you know, you just really have to guess the right answer. It really didn't come down to Meyer just because neither of you decided to make that play. So I guess that's at least something to take from it. But yeah, sometimes Rando with these really open seeds can just be a guess.
Yeah.
But I will say we were really excited because we knew where the fire rod was. And we knew Skullwood was a crystal, and I hyped everyone up for the Skullwoods or the Thieves Town spin speed, and then you just left, and I was so sad.
After getting out of Thief Town, you mean? Oh yeah.
Yeah, just spin
I
speed and go.
Woods, yeah.
Yeah, but
I
you
really
made.
wanted to know what the Turtle Rock
was the Turtle Rock play then.
Yeah, I was actually saying that would have been the smart thing to do, is to go to Turtle Rock and you end up doing it, but like I was like, oh, we're gonna get to see the spin speed. No one ever does, and I was so excited.
I'm sorry to everyone I let down there.
That's
Yeah, it's all right. Just
I mean, I made sure to highlight all your dash cancels on the way to get them to make up for it.
I appreciate it.
But and as you folks in chat probably know, these races do happen. I just want to point out the bit of humor to Doc's behavior here as he explained bugger all in left side swamp was him bonking back and forth in Turtle Rock. Just,
Yeah, you got to do the fan service too.
Oh yeah, for sure. All in good fun.
So, Marty, any thoughts on what you're gonna change up next match?
I don't know if I'll change. I don't actually know what I'll change. Maybe I'd be better changing the standard, so I definitely won't do this stupidity again. But,
That's true.
I guess it guarantees you to escape.
Another, if you're worried about escape, you also can do a short sword because you'll probably get the sword and go right to escape too, which is another way of doing it without
So-
actually having to deal with standard.
Setting, so it'd either be Uncle Assured or the or standard mode. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
both of them kind of take escape skipping kind of off the table, more or less.
yeah,
I mean, I guess you still could do it with a short uncle, but
and I usually do, to be honest. So let's not do that.
looks like you're getting a standard then, Gerdo. So
I'm gonna keep my poker face on here and not give a comment on that decision.
just remember to not mash before the mantle, and you should be okay.
Seems good.
We'll see how it goes.
Yeah. Well, good luck in the next race. This being the best of 3, Gerdo takes game 1 with his 139.40 according to SRL. Good luck with the rest of the series, guys.
Thanks very
so
much, guys.
Yeah.
Thanks for the commentary.
Yep, same.
Thanks to our tracker OSS Geek, to you, chat, for tuning in. My commentary partner, Apathy Duck, and I've been Epibliticus. You got any final thoughts, Apathy?
No, I think that was it. I think it was real exciting. Exciting to see. Anything could have happened until fairly late, and unfortunately, it just turned out one of those ones where it was the atom is buried, and neither one really found it really. So, fun match.
Indeed. Well, I think it's going to do it for us here on Speed Gaming. Thanks so much for tuning in, and have a great one.